Lumio has a new look. If you want to check it out, you need to first switch to beta. So you're going to click on your profile, About Lumio Beta, and you want to make sure that that is toggled on. That's what it looks like if it's off. Turn it on and click on Confirm. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just start a session. And you'll notice right away that this screen looks different. We're going to go ahead and X out of it because we're going to compare the old version to the new. So this is the old version. This is the screen that pops up before you actually start your session. And then this is the new look. Now you'll see on the right side, it's basically the same information that we saw originally, but now it's showing you class settings as well. All right, on the far left, you'll notice here I have my toolbar. And what's new here is I can actually click on their little Lumio icon and make that all those tools disappear. So it gives me a little bit more room on the left side for my presentation. And anytime I need a tool, I can click on that icon and have access to those tools. All right, now this is what the old toolbar looked like. So first I had my 3 lines and it gave me all of this information. If I click on the 3 lines, you'll notice it gives me the same exact information. So that really hasn't changed. If I click on the people up here, this is what we used to get. And if I click on the people here, you'll notice that kind of original screen that popped up on the left side had all the class settings information there. So that really hasn't changed. It gives you the same information. However, what I will say is that over on the right side here, there were some things that you could do once you get into class settings. For instance, if you had to make a handout, an individual handout, or a group workspace, or a whole class whiteboard. If you were in a presentation and you forgot one of these things and you needed to have access to it, you'll notice that here when I click on this, we don't see that anymore. That is actually moved. So if I actually come over here on the left side of my toolbar down here to this magic wand, and I click on that, you'll notice here's that individual handout, group workspace, and whole class whiteboard. So if you ever have to turn something into an activity on the fly once you're live, you're going to click on the magic wand, and that might look familiar to you. In the editor, we use the magic wand to convert these into activities. So there's kind of a difference there between the new look and the old look. All right. Now, as we move down to the other tools, you'll notice that these are the original tools. These are kind of the new look tools. So they're pretty much the same. There's not a lot of change between those two. If we move a little bit farther down here, we have our little plus sign here. And in our old version, there's our plus sign there. When we clicked on the plus sign, we saw that we had the access to a whiteboard, whole class whiteboard, shout out activity, and Desmos. When I click on this plus sign, I get the same information. Whiteboard, whole class whiteboard, shout out activity, and Desmos. So there's really not a huge change between what the old look was compared to the new look. It does let you minimize it, which is really nice. It does give you kind of that magic wand that we're kind of used to in the editor. Now they've kind of separated that from the classroom settings. And then down below here, you'll notice that we can kind of go between our pages, very similar to this one. It's just a little bit flatter. So I feel like it's maybe out of the way a little bit better. And then I have my magnifying glass where I can kind of zoom in or zoom out controls, and you can kind of see it underneath there. That was kind of the same situation where I could do the plus and the minus. So not a lot of changes, definitely a little bit different look to it. And the ability to kind of minimize and doesn't take up as much of your screen. So if you want to take a look at the new look, go ahead and switch over to beta and check it out. If that helps.